What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're combat sport guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, this time in the form of UFC Mexico. Brandon Moreno taking on the somewhat short notice loner Kavanagh, originally supposed to be Asu Amabayev. Before we do that, let's talk about last week, Anthony Hernandez versus Sean Strickland, where you accurately predicted that if Anthony Hernandez was to lose this fight, it would be via body shots. We have seen him lose that way before, like Kevin Holland in the past. And sure enough, excuse me, and sure enough, it was a knee up the middle that caused his
Look,
demise, right? He was unable to get the chain wrestling going. He was unable to get the takedowns, and he was clearly beat on the feet. Sean Strickland put him out. Sean Strickland gave everybody what they wanted, a finish after how many years? But anyways, before we do that, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. It was a good card. It was long too. It was long. Um, I stayed I stayed up until every single fight. I had to go with my kid. You were talking about that, but for the main event, I just laid down and I was with my little boy watching, bro. The boys, what happened to Fluffy, man? I mean,
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the wrestlers couldn't get it going, right? A lot of the favorites, somewhat
yeah,
of the favorites couldn't get it going, right? But
lots of favorites got murked, eh?
yeah, it's interesting. But in terms of bets, we still provided you with some plus money bets and some favorites that we predicted to win. Right, we got Edwards. I think you got Edwards money line and Pereira money line at -145. Michelle Pereira, that was a big win for him. Right, you could see the emotion in him in that third round when they announced his name. After the third round, we gave you Edwards and Costa at a -107. We gave you Judice. Oh, we gave you Costa inside the distance at a +475, right? I think that was the plus money play of the night. A lot of the bets didn't pan out last week. You know, Chidi and Kawani had a horrible game plan, right? He let the man put him up against the cage and just fire away. Where he did have some success was, moving to the center of the octagon, utilizing those kicks because Liao did get tired, but for some reason, Andrew Kawani kept getting backed up, right? He kept getting pressured and he lost that fight. Neil knocked out. My man got KO'd in the first round, right, with a hit to the temple. And then what else happened here? We got Brahimaj and Soriano, close fight, right? Depending on how you scored it. Soriano got the dub. And then who else? Who was Judice unable to put away Miller? Right? Did you see that video of Miller saying that, oh, I was a +600 dog, like you guys disrespect
We ain't
me?
doing that, dog. We ain't doing that. Like,
And then and
yeah.
then your favorite, Ante Delija, came out, man,
Yeah,
with the
you're
with
like
no aggression. What did you think of that?
everybody that trains with Tom Aspinall loses now, eh? Isn't that a coincidence?
Hey, man, maybe that camp is trying to get out. You don't know.
Well, if I nobody cares if Tom stays as champ, dog. Nobody cares. Like, it's all good.
But this week, I want to say that the UFC is in Mexico. The altitude is high. The crime is even higher. There's a lot going on in Mexico currently with the capture and death of one of the leaders. Right, there's a lot of violence going on. So it's a dangerous time more than ever in Mexico right now. Did you hear about that? Did you see that?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
unfortunate.
crazy right now. But let's get into this card. We're gonna start from the top to the bottom this time. A little something new, a little something different. We'll start with the main event. We got Brandon Moreno coming off the loss to Tatsuro Taira 2 months ago, where he lost via KO TKO. And some might argue that that loss was a bit premature, right? But he was in an awkward position. He was eating a lot of shots, and he did eat a lot of shots to the back of the head. If you rewatch that. But anyways, he's going up against Loner Kavanagh, who just 5 months ago suffered his first loss at the hands of Charles Johnson, where he was looking good early on, and then my man gassed, had his hands low, got
Mhm.
caught, dropped, and beat via ground and punch. Right, that was 5 months ago in his hometown in China. He now goes into Brandon Moreno's territory, right, Mexico, taking on the former flyweight champ. I mean, man, what do you think of this fight? What do you how do you see this playing? What do you think about Kavanaugh's chances? Do you think him taking this fight on short notice is good for him? Do you think it's bad for him? Do you think Moreno's going to do too much?
I think Moreno.
How does Moreno look after being KO'd? Right. What are your thoughts? Is it too soon for
Yeah.
Moreno? 2 months?
No. Moreno's just because both of them basically have kind of knocked out, right? Like, I mean, you have to go with Brandon Moreno. He's sitting right now at a -205, so the odds have put money on Kavanagh. I'm gonna side with Moreno here, man. Like, this is, yeah. I mean, the only thing I could think about is motivation, patience. Um, yeah, it was interesting to see. Like, you actually look at it, you think about Jeff Neal and him getting knocked out, right, against Medic. Was it too soon? Right?
Yeah, you could argue that.
Yeah. So then is a Moreno, because apparently Moreno was still good, but Brandon Moreno should be a steal here at a minus. Like, they got him on DK -205. Loner hasn't faced the opposition that Moreno has, so this is going to make a very intriguing fight.
I think it being a 5 round fight, Moreno has technical boxing. He works well behind his jab, right? He's a good grappler, right? He has good jiu-jitsu, solid jiu-jitsu. He scrambles well on the ground. Kavanagh has showed us, you look at the fight with Felipe Dos Santos, that his takedown defense and his ability on the ground is pretty good, right? It holds up really well. His boxing is also pretty technical, pretty dangerous. He's probably the stronger of the two. He's dangerous in the pocket. Where he does suffer is he gives up size, right? He is pretty short. He's 5'4". He gives up 3 inches of reach. So where he excels best is in the pocket. And my only concern here is with Kavanagh's takedown defense being pretty good and Moreno's ability to Moreno's striking defense not being the best because he does get hit a lot. He does get tagged. So my fear is in this fight, if Kavanagh comes out aggressive, Moreno's not able to get the takedowns, not able to get going, and suffers a big punch early on and gets put out. Right, that's a possibility, and that's an outcome that could happen. But I think this being 5 rounds, this being Kavanagh's first 5 round fight in the UFC at altitude too, seeing how he got gassed last time out, and then this being you know, somewhat short notice, could be a potential downfall for him, right? Like if he doesn't get a finish early, I could see him get gassing out, 3rd round, getting to those championship rounds and, not having the same power output as of a Brandon Moreno who's fought in Mexico City before, right? Who's fought at that elevation at 7,000 feet, whatever it is. So I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno. I think he's a bit more technical, a bit more savvy. He has the 5 round experience. He has fought in Mexico and he should do well here. But it is a dangerous fight for him because it does get hit, right? If Kavanaugh's able to stuff a few takedowns and just get in the pocket and land a nice, spot on the chin or the tempo, it could be long, bro. So I wouldn't be surprised with that. But I'm gonna go Brandon Moreno. I don't think he's gonna
It's
lose
going to
in
be hard.
Mexico.
That one is going to be. It's going to be interesting hard, but we're both going to go with Moreno here. I mean, we wish the Loner GG's. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look at his takedown defense in his 2 fights in the UFC against Ochoa. Ochoa shot 1 and he was unsuccessful. Dos Santos shot 3. He was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Johnson shot 1 of 2. I mean, he was able to get 1 takedown out of 2 down. He had 1 minute of control time. Moreno averages about 1.5, 1.8 takedowns per 15 minutes. So about 2 takedowns per 25 minutes at a 44% rate. So it's going to be interesting if he's not able to get this to the ground, if he's able to just dance around and stay out of that danger zone, right? Kind of pick and pop from the outside, utilize that footwork. But based on experience, Sav, and Moreno's still young. He's 32. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Moreno here. I don't think this takes anything away from Kavanagh. Taking this fight on short notice, if anything, it's good. He's going up against a former champ. If he loses, he gets the experience. If he wins, he gets the Joshua Van treatment, right? He gets put right up there in the top 5.
Yep.
So
He's right there. So this is
we'll
this
see
is
what
a
happens.
win-win. This is a win-win situation. Either he loses and wins experience, or he wins and he gets the top 5. So
Yeah. Yep. So that is our pick for the main event. Next up, we have our co-main. We have Rob Font returning. I'm not Rob Font. I apologize. We have Marlon Vera returning after 4 months, losing to Ayman Zahabi via split decision, going up against David Martinez, who last time out at Noche UFC 5 months ago beat Rob Font via unanimous decision, where he came in on short notice and he looked really, really good. What do you think of this fight, man? Break it down for me.
So I'm looking at the odds. They put my boy Vera at a plus 235. We're gonna go side with Vera.
He's deserving, bro. Vera's not gonna win this fight, man.
Really?
Vera's not gonna win this fight.
He's gonna get cut from the UFC then. My boy has a couple of rows. Like look at this. It's insane. Like he has even the Figgy fight. Like I'm trying to remember, was it that close? I don't
He
think
got
so.
dropped for the first time.
Figgy, eh? Okay. This is like I said, bro. Like bro has literally two split decision losses. Munoz, the champ. I mean, I'm gonna go with Vera. I like the size. David, like I like Rob Font. Um, Martinez outclassed Rob Font, but I don't think that's the case with Vera. If it is, bro, we have a contender in our hands. Like if wow, so why is this? Oh, because Topology does ranking differently for these fights. But David Martinez is a top 15, right? B Rob Font took his ranking. Now he's
Yeah.
about to face Cheeto. Um, I'm gonna go with Vera, man. Like I said, like you're right. The momentum is not on Vera's side, but sometimes guys lock in, as known as Ricky Simone against Basharat, right? Go ahead.
I think Vera, he's a step behind. It looks like he's been a step behind recently, right? He drops the first round against Ayman Zahabi, close fight, right?
Yeah.
He was visibly upset when that split decision was called. He left the octagon. Remember how upset he was? So you're right. He could come in with a different mindset. He could come in a bit more locked in, but he's a striker who does well on the ground. If it gets to the ground, he can scramble well enough and search for submissions. Like I mentioned, Figgy has dropped them for the first time in his career. He has a solid chin, however. He's going up against David Martinez, who has that Taekwondo base.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, he last stepped up on short notice against Rob Font, where he utilized his mobility, his forward movement, his footwork. He cuts angles really well. He's precise with the shots. He has nice leg kicks. He should be able to fight at range. Can't let Vera get in close, get going, or into the pocket. And I think here he's going to be able to utilize that footwork and be active with the leg kicks, right? And kind of inhibit a lot of Vera's forward movement and his ability, right? And it all comes down to that first round. I think he's gonna have a good first round. Even at the end of that third round against Rob Font, Martinez had him on the ground and he was looking for the finish, right? And that ref could have stopped it at any time, but he let it go to a decision. So, Martinez is pretty dangerous. Does he put out Vera? I don't know. Vera's pretty strong, dude. I think the leg kicks are gonna make a difference here. I think his movement's gonna make a difference here. So I'm gonna go with Martinez, man. I like him as a prospect. I think he's good here.
And here I'm hoping at a plus 235 that Vera understands that this might be his last fight in the UFC if he doesn't win. And how could you not come prepared, bro? So we're gonna find out. David Martinez is sitting at top 10 while Vera sitting at 9. So Martinez wins this, he catapults to top 9, right next to Mario Bautista. So
But how do you see Marlon Vera beating him? Like, what would you think the game plan
I
would
see
be?
him cutting. Like he's gonna have to basically a couple different things, using the dirty boxing, kind of coming in, slipping, crossing, ripping the jab, right? But that entails he's gonna have to come inside Martinez's range, right? Put Martinez, like if he's able to put him on the back pedal, I think Vera has a shot to win, right?
Mhm.
Then we have the fact that Vera, whose grappling is better, right? Martinez looked amazing against Rob Font when he took him down, but like I think Vera has those two options, and the question is he able to get them, right? Against a young up and comer that if I'm Martinez, I'm on my balls on my feet and I'm moving, and you're not gonna put me against the wall, right? That's how Vera's chances. And the one thing you could say is like, well, maybe there's an experience component after being fucked over so many different times. Maybe he gets it done. But this is do or die. Like we're talking about four losses out of 5 fights. This is bad. This is nasty.
Yeah. Okay. So we are on opposing ends here. You're going with Chito Vera. I'm going with David Martinez. We'll move on to our next fight. Daniel Zellhuber, who per Tapology says he's a minus 500 favorite going up against King Green. Now, do you agree with these odds? Do you think he should be a minus 500 favorite? A lot of people are discounting Zellhuber. A lot of people are upset at Zellhuber. I mean, Zell Huber was on everybody's parlay last time out up against Michael Johnson. Remember that?
Except who? Except who? Tell him, champ. Tell him.
I don't know, some scrub. But anyways, just kidding. You had
Oh,
Michael Johnson that fight, but I think a lot of people are looking at that Michael Johnson fight
wow.
and they're looking at King Green. They're like, listen, he's fighting against another striker, another older guy. But I hate to be the one to break it to you. Michael Johnson is not King Green, and King Green is not Michael Johnson. Michael
Yeah.
Johnson is way better than King Green, in my opinion, right? In terms of like their footwork and their movement, right? And their striking. King Green, what he does is, last time out, he beat Lance Gibson Jr., who was making his UFC debut. And I think that was on short notice. That fight kind of got put together like randomly. And, he looked good. He won that fight via unanimous decision. It should have been via, I know one of the judges gave it to Lance Gibson Jr., but Green won that fight. He comes forward, he has his hands low, he talks crap, right? He has okay, opportunistic jiu-jitsu if needed. But he just comes forward with his hands low, and I think he's going up against somebody who, in Zell Huber, who showcased in the past that he is a dog. You look at his fight at Noche Latina against Ribovich, who can utilize the kicks, who can strike, who's technical, who utilizes his range well to set up his power shots, and has solid takedown defense. The issue with Michael Johnson is that he wasn't able to get going, right? He looked stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
He even got sat down and with that left hand in the second round. He wasn't getting active, right? So a lot of people kind of left that fight after watching that fight. They left with that like taste in their mouth, like, okay, maybe this kid isn't that good. Maybe he doesn't have that dog. Maybe he doesn't have that forward movement. But I think in Mexico, fighting against a King Green who moves forward with his hands low, he's gonna be able to find a kick to the head or something, like or something. So I'm gonna go with Zell Huber, man. I think Zell Huber can get a bounce back win here. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna take. I think he's gonna take what he did wrong against a Michael Johnson and utilize it well against a King Green.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna go down, right? Like, age. So the age thing is big, right? Because the Green's chin is not the same. You have the fact that there's a significant reach advantage on Zellhuber. You had the fact that Bobby's movement is very good, but his chin is not what it used to be. So Hoover's gonna try to kind of tag him, right? At a minus 550, it's a little bit too heavy on Hoover. Um,
Can't
I
trust
mean,
him.
yeah, maybe if you're a Hoover fan, try to get the knockout prop. Maybe that's the play, but let's find out. I mean, look, like Judge Jalen Turner with the same like the same reach and everything as Zellhuber, and maybe you got another repeat, but we won't find out to fight now. But at a minus 550, I would stay away from this. There's nothing to gain.
Yeah, and Lance Gibson Jr. didn't look good in his UFC debut, right? I mean, I don't think King Green was having
It
his
was
way with
close
him.
too. That fight was
Confident,
pretty
yeah.
close. Yeah, by the way,
He won that fight. He won that fight.
he won that. Yeah, who King?
Yeah, King Green won
Oh
that
yeah,
fight.
yeah, but it was close enough, like that. Uh,
I don't
Junior.
think it was close. I think he
No,
won.
but it was he put Green in a couple of different situations. Just some guys are just Green. Like that's like again, like I said, 10 wins, 0 losses. Taking it's sometimes a little bit too much for these guys.
Yep, we're both going with Zell Huber to get it done here. We'll move on to our next bout. We have Edgar Chaires taking on Felipe Bunez, however you want to say it.
Boom.
Chaires last time out beat your boy CJ Vergara via submission, whereas Philip Bunez last time out lost to Rafael Estevan via unanimous decision, where Estevan came in heavy. He missed like 5 pounds of weight, right? He came in heavy, came in as a big boy,
Oh,
was able to get it done via grappling. We know his style, right? He smothers you, gets on you, but when you come in heavy and you're gonna be heavy on the night of the fight, it makes it difficult, bruv. Makes
yeah.
it difficult. But Chaires, we look at him, he's in a good, aggressive Muay Thai striker. He can fight off his back. He has a knack for chasing submissions, for getting submissions. He has 7 of his 11 wins coming in the form of submission. He likes to move forward. He throws with volume and output. He's long, he's lengthy. I believe they're the same height, but when you see him, he looks longer and lengthy, right? Like he looks pretty tall. But they have him listed as 5'7". I think he's a bit taller, man. Or maybe because he's so skinny, he looks taller, right?
Might be
But
it. Yeah.
he has good volume and good output. And when you look at him, man, you look at his record, he's only lost to the top 5. He lost to Joshua Van via unanimous decision, who's currently the champ. And he lost to Tetsuro Taira, who is next in line for a title shot, I believe, right? I don't know if they announced it yet, but he's arguably next in
They
line
did.
for the
They
title
did. I
shot.
think they did. They did. They
So
did.
he's next in line for the title shot. So he's lost to, the top five. He beat Daniel Lacerda via submission, triangle choke, and he beat CJ Vergara via submission. He's going up against Bunez, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, can scramble well off the ground on his back. He sets up his takedowns with level changes. He doesn't attack with a single leg or utilize his striking too well to set up his takedowns. His last time out, he went up against a heavier grappler in Esteban, where he did receive the short end of the stick and he lost. Prior to that, he beat Jose Johnson via submission armbar. He lost to Joshua Van as well via KO, TKO, ground and pound. He beat Yuma Horiguchi. This was in the LFA, and then he beat uh, Vascar Cruz via split decision. I think Charis here is going to be the better of the two on the feet, and he also poses a submission threat. He's the better overall fighter of the two, and I think he's going to be able to get it done here, man. I like Charis' chances.
I like Charis too. But the only thing I don't like is the odds. The odds don't really reflect what this fight is. But I mean, Charis has been inactive for like 10 months, which is not bad. But
I
he
think
has
he, I think he only fights on Noche Latina. That's his last three fights have all been on Noche
yeah,
Latina.
when he gets the call, I guess, right? Like
Yeah,
because there's an individual in this room that has been getting. Oh, you'll see in the card, Medina. Only why is he in the UFC? UFC Mexico, right?
yeah.
Uh, Bunes has the shot here. I'm just curious to see his conditioning, at altitude, right? Because that grappling, every grappler is going to be tested with that altitude, right? We
Yeah.
know. You look at Kane versus Verdum. I get it; it's heavyweight guys, but I'm gonna go with Charis. Charis gets it done.
Right on. We're both picking Charis to get it done. We'll move on to our next fight on the card. Emmanuel Rodriguez getting a slot on the main card in his UFC debut, his official UFC debut. He's going up against Kevin Borjas. This is an interesting fight, right? Because you look at somebody like Kevin Borjas. When he last fought in Mexico, he looked good against Ronaldo Rodriguez. I don't even think that was in Mexico. That was in the Sphere, right? That was in UFC Noche Latina. He beat Ronaldo Rodriguez via unanimous decision, where he
The
looked good.
Sphere? No,
Lazy boy. Yeah, lazy boy.
but not
Yeah,
in the Sphere.
oh, that was all Ode Osborne, right? This was in Mexico. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
was in Mexico. So last time out in Mexico, he beat Lazy Boy via unanimous decision. After that, he fought Sumar Deji in China and lost. He had no activity. He didn't get much going. He looked like he was just stood there, right? Like he didn't do anything. He got beat by Sumar Deji. Prior to that, he lost to the likes of Alessandro Costa via KO TKO, where he got his legs chewed up, and then Joshua Van via unanimous decision, where he just outvalued him and put a pace on him and outstruck him. Borjas has been somewhat inconsistent for my liking, right? I thought after the Lazy Boy victory, he was going to come out hot against somebody like Sumar Deji, who does struggle with the grappling, right? He's going to be able to mix it up, be able to utilize his striking, be aggressive, and kind of have a overall good performance, and he didn't. He looked pretty flat. He's going up against a dangerous guy in Emmanuel Rodriguez, who, as I mentioned, is making their UFC debut after winning on the Contender Series and getting a KO over Roque Conceição. In the Ultimate Fighter, he got eliminated to the winner in Joseph Morales, where he lost via split decision. And we saw how good Joseph Morales is. We saw how good he's been, right? He's a the second turn in the UFC. He's been looking nice, right? When you look at the Rodriguez's fighting style, he's a technical fighter. He's fast. He's clean. He throws nice combination. He has powers to complement the speed. He has poor takedown defense. However, his get-up game isn't bad. He trains out of Blaxicans in Mexico. Pretty good gym over there. I know it's my friend's what's the term, brother-in-law's gym, right? So she's very close to Emmanuel Rodriguez. She tells me that he's very excited. He's been training very hard. She just went to Mexico City to go watch him, right? She got tickets to go watch him. So he's pretty prepared, right? I have been seeing some clips of him. She has been telling me that he has been training for this, and he knows Borjas's threats and vulnerability. So I think he's going to have a good performance. Yeah, I think being in Mexico City and for how dangerous Emmanuel Rodriguez is making his UFC debut, being from Mexico, having some time trained in Mexico City, I think he's going to do well here. I think he's going to be able to put a pressure and pace on Borja, similar to how Joshua Van did, and possibly get him out of there, maybe get the finish. So I'm going to go with Rodriguez. I'm pretty confident in him to get the win inside the distance here.
Yeah. I mean, champ, I'll be honest with you. Rodriguez is the pick, but when it comes to the bet, I have to. I'm not gonna side with Borjas, but there's always that what if, right? We talk about the contender series guys. I mean, this guy has been killing people on his ascent to the UFC, and like it's no knocked out that kid 4 months ago, looked stellar. I mean, you got to pick Rod, right? And like these odds at around fight night
Mm-hmm.
might be minus 600, minus 700, but like I said, like I would stay away from staying away from a minus 420. If
Yeah.
anything,
Well, a lot
I
of
would
people don't know too, right? Because he's making
put
his
Rod.
debut, so it could either go the other way, right? It could go towards
Yeah.
Borja. So
If anything, I'll like yeah, I'll watch that first round like a hawk to see if those odds dip, and we can kind of get in on live bet.
right on. We're both going with Emmanuel Rodriguez to get it done. Next up, we have a bout in a bantamweight bout in Santiago Luna taking on Angel Pacheco. Santiago Luna last time out beat Kwang Lee via KO UFC Noche Latina, where he was slotted in on short notice, right? He came out, his boxing looked good. The moment didn't get to him, he got the finish. He's going up against Angel Pacheco, who is, coming off almost a 2 month, almost a 2 year, what's the word I'm looking for? A 2 year absence, right?
Mhm.
After losing to Cowlin Logren, who's no longer in the UFC via unanimous decision. When you look at Luna, Santiago, when you look at, wait, what the heck? I'm so confused. Oh, because I have his full name. Okay, when you look at Luna last time out, he looked good in his boxing exchanges and his footwork. He didn't let the moments get to him. His two fights prior to the last were at featherweight, so he has fought at featherweight. He made the bantamweight limit. He looked good in the weight, and he's a striker who comes forward with aggressive pop. I expect him to be bigger here, right? When you drop in weight and you fill up and you rehydrate, he's gonna be the bigger fighter. Right? He's accustomed to fighting at featherweight. He's back at bantamweight. He's 5'9". He does have the height advantage. He does have the reach advantage at 74-inch reach. And that's the big difference, right? When you're a striker and you come in bigger, your chin holds up a lot well. You have more power. You
Yeah.
don't get too much speed. He's coming up against Pacheco, who's also a striker. He comes forward, he lands with volume, he puts a pace on his opponents. He doesn't have so much power, but he does thrive in overwhelming his opponents with his volume, with his outwork. His takedown defense is okay. He can offensively grapple if needed. I think that's going to be his game plan here. I don't think he's going to want to exchange with Luna, but being at this high altitude, if he does try to get the grappling going, he is going to get tired, right? And his striking output isn't going to be as effective as it normally would be in the first round. And that's where I feel that Luna could pick up the pace, take over, and potentially find a finish, right? When you have somebody who comes forward, who strikes with volume, this is a good fight. Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco is a good fight, but I'm gonna go with Luna, man. I like the way he looked in his debut. I like his aggression. I like his forward movement. I like his striking, his footwork, and I just think he's gonna be the bigger guy here. I don't see Pacheco having the success and taking him down, having the success on the feet, right, or holding him down, even, right. When you're fighting at that altitude, and like you said, these wrestlers are gonna struggle, especially if they're attempting takedowns and not succeeding, attempting takedowns and not succeeded. So I'm gonna go with Luna here to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Luna would be a great way to put him on a parlay at a 480. Um, Kid has shown to be amazing at what he does. 7 wins. He's a young cat, but again, why would they bring Angel Pacheco? Think about it. Hasn't been offered a fight in 2 years. Could it be injuries, or they're just they're prepping this kid up. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm going with Luna gets a knockout. Just like a New England cartel. I get it. Like you train with the boys and Rob Font and company, but like you're literally brought in to make this kid look good, respectfully, champ. Right? Let's
Yeah.
call it, because when you don't get a call from the UFC for 2 years, right? What happened besides injury? it's the same. It's the Nico Price thing all over again, right? Like didn't get a fight, but you know what? We got a guy here. You know, maybe that's what it was. Maybe there was another opposition close because like a lot of these guys, I don't know what's happening now is that they get called not with 4 months notice, but maybe 2 3 months, right? Maybe Pacheco was one of those, right? Maybe he got a month notice. I don't know, but I'm gonna side with Santiago Luna here. Um, prove me wrong, right? Prove us wrong.
Right on. We're both going with Luna to get it done here. We have our next bout in Jose Medina, who you mentioned earlier, taking on Ryan Gandra. Medina is one of those cats who, he got beat by Gadzia Zulov in the Contender Series, and Dana White liked his toughness, he liked his durability, and he said, "You know what, brother? We can use you. Let's give you an opportunity." Right? He came back,
Yeah.
fought against Zachary Reese, took Reese to a decision for the first time in the UFC. Right? And he came back again. They said, "All right, brother, we're gonna run it back." They gave him Atiba Gautier, where he got KO'd in UFC Mexico last time out. In the first round, I believe it was, or the second. I think it was the first round, right? He got KO'd with the knee, and he got
Yeah.
dropped. And then people were like, "Okay, maybe this guy can be finished. Maybe he's not as tough as we think." And he went up against Dusko Totorovic, and he got submitted via rear naked choke, right? This is a guy that on the regional scene he does really well, but in the UFC it's just a different level of competition, right? He was beating guys with the ground and pound. He was beating guys with, he talked about how he's working on his striking. He's trying to work on his physique. He's trying to get better, but he's just always receiving the short end of it, right? He's coming up against Ryan Gondra, who beat Trent Miller on the Dana White Contender Series via KO. You look at Gondry as a striker who comes forward. He looks to put a pace on you and apply pressure. His takedown defense is decent. And if it isn't working for him on the feet, he's comfortable enough in securing takedowns and finding those takedowns, level changing, and putting you up against the cage or muscling you down to the floor. He beat Miller in the first round and threw over 60 significant strikes, landing 50% of them and defending one takedown, all within 2 minutes. So I think he's going to come out here. He's going to put a pace on Medina. Medina has been finished before. I think Medina's here to do a job, right? And that's to make Gondra look good. And hopefully Gondra does his job and shows up and looks good. So I'm going to go with Gondra here. I just think Medina is just, yeah, man, his chin has been checked before. They're at altitude, right? He can get tired, right? We have seen him get tired in the past against Dusko Totorovic. So I think Gondra should get it done here. Should have a finish here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gondra. I mean, like maybe this card, we got a couple of plus 500s, right? Sorry, minus 500s, and you pair those boys out with a good parlay, put $50 and make back, try to make back 2x, because between Gondra, Luna, and a couple other guys, so who's the other one? Maybe Zell Huber, but I wouldn't risk it. Yeah, there's a couple of minus 500s that I would kind of put together in a parlay, but we'll see. I think yeah, bro. I just haven't seen anything like Medina. It's hard to say that he'll contend for a title shot. He's just there.
He'll
Like
contend. That's
respectful.
crazy.
Bro, am I wrong? Like when your toughest um when your toughest weapon is you absorb punches, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the
I agree
thing.
with you.
Let's open up the parenthesis for 1 second. Kandra better not tire out. he better, my boy better have kind of come early, because if not, Medina might get his first UFC win. So we'll see. Like and also contender series guy. Remember that, eh?
Jamal Hill was a contender series guy, brother. Became champ.
Yeah, no, dude,
Sean
100%.
O'Malley, contender series guy, came champ. You be
But then,
careful, brother. You be careful. I'm just kidding. I agree with you. I agree with you. There has been instances where these guys on their debut they are inflated, right, and they look like crap. But anyways, we'll move on here. We're both going with Gandra to get it done. Next up, we have a women's bout. We have Macy Chiason taking on Aileen Perez. You are a long time subscriber of Aileen Perez's OnlyFans, right? You really follow her on Instagram. You kind of keep up to date with her, what she's doing in the off season, what she's doing in training camp. What did you think on this? What do you think of this fight? What do you think of her chances here? She's going up against a Macy Chiason who, she typically and normally fights at featherweight, right? She's
No,
at a
no, not
yeah,
really.
man,
She's been
yeah, the
fighting.
UFC, yeah, she won the Ultimate Fighter at featherweight. There was
She
supposed to be
won
a
there,
featherweight
yeah.
division.
But
Yeah,
it's been years, though. It's been years.
it's been years, bro, but still, bro, she's a big girl, and the reason I say that is because she misses weight, so she should normally fight at featherweight. If there was a featherweight
Yes.
division, she'd be champ. Nah, she wouldn't be champ, but she'd be good at the featherweight division, right?
She'd be good.
But
She'd be good.
she does miss weight a lot. Last time out against Yana Santos, she lost via unanimous decision, where she missed weight in that fight, and she also was upset. We put it up a little bit. Put it up a little bit. What are we doing? There you go, man. Listen, this fight camp's going well, brother.
Oh, oh.
What happened?
It gets a little bit intense for you two.
Send it to me. I gotta check it
Of
out.
course, I'll send it to you.
Send it to me, bro. Send it to me on X. But I'm just kidding. But listen, Perez last time out, she beat Carol Hosa, who was ranked number 7 at the time, and she was a big underdog. I believe everybody was on the side of Hosa, but but who? But who? Aileen Perez. I had picked Aileen Perez in that fight as a dog pick to get it done, right? She secured, I believe it was like, I want to say 4 of her 8
Yeah.
takedowns, or I forget how many takedowns she shot in that fight, but
Listen,
she was able to get her on the ground.
for the boys, peep the screen, peep the Twitter screen for the boys, for the culture. You don't got to define what's in there, but peep it.
What do you mean? Are you showing it or what are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. Check the DMs. Check the
Oh,
DMs.
check the DMs. Okay, I thought you put it on the screen here.
No, it'll get us.
Here are the two things, but I would rather wager if Chiasan makes weight. That would be a good wager, right? Like, do
Yeah,
you think she's gonna make weight? Is it a plus 200 that she doesn't or she does? I'd put money on that. But you look at her, right? These both are bigger girls for the division, right?
yes,
Macy Chiasan, obviously 5'11". She's extremely tall. She has the reach. She's going up against a 5'5" Aileen Perez, who loves to come forward. She's a pressure grappler who utilizes her jiu-jitsu well. She does have some knockouts on her record. She does have some TKO finishes. She's well-rounded, but she's primarily a grappler wrestler. She comes forward. Fighting at altitude, that could be a concern, right? Oh, a wrestler coming forward. She doesn't get it going. If Macy stops some of the takedowns, if she's able to keep it on the feet, how's Aileen going to look in those exchanges in the second or third round, right? How's your striking going to look up
yeah,
against somebody who can fight well in the clinch, fight dirty. Uh, but Aileen does utilize her takedowns well. Her takedowns well with her striking. She looks to control you on the ground and chase finishes. She's also big for 135. If you look at her in the offseason, she gets pretty big. Like, she's a big girl, and she slims down pretty well. She cuts pretty well, and then she rehydrates pretty well. So maybe that could work to her advantage when it comes to the grappling, or maybe that can work to her disadvantage fighting at altitude. But I think Chiasan here does have decent enough takedown defense, but she does, however, find ways to get taken down, right?
yeah,
So I think I'm gonna go with Perez here. I like her pressure, I like her momentum. I don't like Chiasan's, you know, form as of late, right? She lost to good competition. Caitlin Vieira, obviously top 5, right? Yana Santos. She beat Myra Bruno Silva, who hasn't looked good, and she beat Pani Kianzad via submission rear naked choke. So interesting fight, man. Interesting
yeah.
fight. I'm
And
gonna go with Aileen.
my biggest disappointment of this fight is
Yeah,
that it's not in the main card. It should be that. This is a great, like, dude. This is a great fight for a main card.
yeah,
Put her in the co-main event because obviously, like, if you're pushing Perez, like, Argentina girl, speaks Spanish, knows how to twerk. Have you seen the picture though? Just saying.
no, I didn't get it. I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I sent it via DMs on Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sending it via here, but no. What I was gonna say was, I mean, Macy has a shot here. Worst case scenario is, if Chiasso stuffs all the takedown, but she was tired in her last foul in her last match against Santos. She was a favorite too. Didn't get it done, and Perez has the momentum. Let's also add the fact that they're in Mexico City, high altitude, right? That weight cut is going to weigh on her. And so my only question is, if Perez is taking this seriously, she should be able to take it. But champ, these odds are a little bit crazy, eh? Sorry, not the odds. The reach. 5'11 versus 5'5", 7'2"
Yeah,
versus 6'6".
yeah.
If it's gonna be a long night if Perez can't take this girl down, eh?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night, right? We can't see Perez lose. That's what I said. If she's unable to be successful with the takedowns, she gets tired. It's gonna
Yeah,
be interesting how she looks on the feet going up against a longer, rangy striker who can pick and pop from the outside, right? Utilize that jab, right? Or also fight well in the clinch. So I think
yeah,
Aileen's gonna have to work early, man. Get into that pocket, push her up against the cage, and then secure those takedowns and look for control time.
yeah.
Look to frustrate Chiasan, look to upset her, right? Because she does get emotional, right? She does get emotional. So I think that'll be her game plan and her route to victory. But we're both going on with Perez to win this fight. We'll move on to our next bout. We have
Before we
Christian
do,
Quinones.
before we
What happened?
do, if you want to kind of compare Daria Zelenkoya,
No,
I think they
don't,
might be a
don't,
little bit similar.
don't compare it to Chiasan.
No, no,
Nah,
no. Reach. It
mm,
might. But anyways, go check it out. But anyway, sorry.
yeah.
Let's go on to the next.
Sorry, yeah. I guess in height, right, in stature, but in
Yeah.
fight, nah, I don't
No, no,
think they're.
it's different. No, 100%.
We have Christian Quinones taking on Chris Moutinho. Chris Moutinho, man, poor guy. You know, he was in the UFC, right? He gets cut. He goes on this very, very. He wasn't. He fought Sean O'Malley. He made Sean O'Malley look like a G, right? He fucking landed
Yeah.
like what 200 significant strikes. He put a beating on him. He got the victory via unanimous decision. They said, you know what, brother, we're gonna part ways here. Bon voyage. Have a good time. We'll see you in the future. My man went out. He said, you know what? I'm gonna get a couple of finishes, brother. I'm gonna get some KOs. I'm gonna get some submissions. I'm gonna get, some finishes out here. 3 KOs on the regional circuit. All right. They give him a call. Listen, we got a killer in Malcolm Wellmaker. We want you to come out. Let's see. You've been killing people. Let's see what you learn. Let's see how you develop. He comes back,
Yeah.
gets KO'd by Malcolm Wellmaker, right? So he's 0-2 in the UFC, I believe. Yeah, he's 0-2 in the UFC. And now he's going up against Christian Quinones, who hasn't fought in almost 2 years. We last saw him lose to Hayoni Barcelos via submission. And then prior to that, he lost to Young Ko Ho Kong via submission. He beat Kad Taha. And then on the contender series, he beat Long Zhao via unanimous decision, right? You look at Quinones, he likes to push a pace. He's relentless with the pressure. He can either slug it out or look to take you down to the ground and chase submissions. Moutinho is primarily a striker. He comes forward. He can grapple if he needs to. As I mentioned, he is 0-2 in the UFC. He went on a 4-5 win streak. Now he's back after being KO'd by Malcolm Wellmaker. I think Christian Quinones is interesting, right? If Christian Quinones is unable to get it done, I believe a lot of his losses come in the second round, right? Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, his losses come in the first round, third round, second round, third round. Yeah, so if this fight goes the distance, he does lose primarily a lot of his losses in the third round, right? He does get tired or whatever. Something happens. There's a fault in the system, right? There's a fault in the wiring where he just drops that third round and he gets finished or he loses, right? So I think Quinones should be okay here against Moutinho, who does get finished, who does come forward. He's probably not the better striker of the two, so I'm gonna go with Quinones to get it done. Not the best confidence. I
Yeah.
mean,
Stay away.
but I'm gonna go with Quinones.
Don't put this man on a parlay. If anything, hedge your bet in the first round. Check, Mutino. Like if Quinones can't get him out because Carter's been an issue, he's gonna feel it, right?
Yeah,
I'm just curious to see what type of shape his Mutino is, and if I'm Mutino, I'm looking at this fight. I'm saying, look, I gotta go to Mexico early. I gotta start running. Because that's the thing, bro. Like this is a conditioning round where if you know El Problema has a cardio issue, exploit it, right? So let's find out, bro. If not, we wish Motino the best, bro.
right on. Next up, we have a bantamweight bout. We have Douglas De Silva Andrade taking on Javier Reyes. Javier Reyes is making their UFC debut after beating Justice Torres via KO TKO. He is an active striker who throws with volume. He doesn't have the most technique or the best technique. He also has a background in judo, so he does incorporate those throws, those trips. They're pretty nice. His takedown entries aren't the best, in my opinion, after seeing a couple of his fights. You look at Douglas Silva de Andrade, he's taken almost 2 years off, right? A year and 8 months. He last lost to Miles John via unanimous decision. Prior to that, he beat Cody Stamen. He lost to Said Nurmagomedov. He beat Sergey Masvidal. And then he beat Gaetano Perillo. Right, he's 40 years old. He's at a plus 180. He's a Brazilian striker with a Muay Thai base. He's got some explosive power. He's a stand-up fighter. He's okay on the ground. He likes to throw nice combination spinning attacks. His grappling's decent. But he primarily likes to keep the fight standing and utilize that striking, right? His takedown defense is at a 46%, which has been, exploited and exposed against decent pressure grapplers, right? I mean, 40 years old up against a young cat, right? How old is this guy? 32. Oh, he's not too young. 32 years old. I think I'm gonna go with Douglas Silva de Andrade to get it done here, man.
Really?
I'm gonna go with the underdog in this fight. Yeah, we'll go with the underdog here because I
Yeah.
think his striking, like overall, like I know the age is a concern, right? But I think his striking and his fighting base overall is a lot better than Reyes, right? His technique, his power. I know the age is a concern and the potential of him gassing out, right? But I think he should be okay here. Now, if Reyes is able to get into that clinch, utilize those judo throws, get him on the ground, control him, it could be a different story, right? Not engage in the striking, not letting him use that power. That could be long, but I don't think he has the control time or the strength to keep him down for that long. You get me? So I'm gonna go with De Andrade Silva.
Yeah, I mean, I'm banking on age. I'm also banking on the fact that, I mean, I'm gonna go with Reyes. I probably not betting with this fight, but if I'm Andrade, like I don't think USADA is a thing anymore. Like there's no more USADA, if I'm not mistaken. There is testing, but there's a different organization.
Yeah,
Andrade is one of these guys that, bro, oh what, like, come on, dog. We're gonna put him on under the same telescope as Overeem and respectfully and all these boys, but I'm gonna go with Reyes, man. I think if he's able to kind of sustain a reach, um, not get taken down, avoid the ground and pound. He has a good reach.
right
So
on.
yeah, I think yeah, like I said, minus 240 is a little bit too steep for me. Like I'm staying away from this fight, but I'm gonna pick Reyes.
Right on. We're on opposing ends here. We'll move on to our next bout. We have a women's flyweight bout. We have Ernesta Caracate taking on
Oh
Sophie Montenegro. Sofia Montenegro is making her UFC debut. A lot of people are a fan of her because they think she's beautiful and she had a good performance in the Dana White Contender Series where she lost. She was bloodied. She was getting hit. She's a dog. She's primarily a striker who does incorporate grappling if she needs to. She throws with more power than Ernesta Caracate. She's the stronger of the two, but she's also the less technical, right? In her Dana White Contender Series, she got tagged a lot. She got hit. She lost via split decision, but she was still offered a contract, right? She's going up against Caracate, who's a striker who utilizes her length and footwork to move around the octagon, to point strike. She throws nice combinations with not much power. She is high volume. She does suffer uh, when it comes to the ground, right? She does get taken down. I think Nicole Cagliari was able to take her down 3 times last time out,
yeah,
but she was the better of the two on the feet. And I think here she's also going to be the better of the two on the feet. She's the more technical striker, right? I think Montenegro has the power, she has the dog, she has the grit, but I think when you're fighting against somebody who has technical striking, who's going to be able to, kind of pick and pop, point strike, kind of frustrate you, right? Not let you get in close. And you look at the reach as well, right? I mean, the reach isn't that big of an issue, but I
yeah.
don't
The
know.
height and the reach it
It,
adds
it
up,
could
right?
be it could be a thing where Montenegro comes in with the game plan. Okay, this girl has been taken down. I'm gonna take her down. I'm gonna take her down, incorporate some shots, kind of. But they're also at elevation, right?
Yeah,
Montenegro, she wings her shots, man. She could get tired. This could be a card where you either pick both Argentinian girls. I know she trains with Aileen Perez. She trains on that side. You can parlay both Argentinian girls and be like, you know what, they're both gonna win, or you could fade them both, right? You could fade them both because these two fights, it's tough, but I'm gonna go with Caracate, man. I think Caracate's striking is a lot more technical. He's gonna work well behind that jab. She's gonna
yeah.
utilize that footwork. Where Montenegro's bet is just coming out crazy, right? Taking her down or finding that shot to put her out. So I'm gonna go with Caracate, man.
I'm gonna go carry K too, but I would not dismiss Montenegro. If I'm Montenegro, just dude, you want to make Montenegro, not Montenegro. You want to make that fight dirty, right? You want to make it like steak. You want to be, dude. So, yeah, I mean, let's see. A high elevation too. So if she's able to break down Caracate, she has a shot. But I'm gonna go with Caracate. Yeah, like I said, like I don't like these odds either, champ. I don't know. I'll keep my eye on a live bet for Montenegro.
It's
See
either
if
you're gonna fade the Argentinian girls or you're gonna ride with them. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we do two parlays just to be fun, bro. We do the anti Argentina and the Argentina parlay, bro. We'll see.
the
We'll see.
Argentinian parlays.
We'll see. We'll see how the odds look when we put our bets together. Make sure you follow us on X at Combat Sport Guys, at Threads, at Instagram. We are trying to be active on all those. Next up, we have Eric Silva taking on Francis Marshall. Last time out, Francis Marshall. I think we could agree. I think everybody agrees. I think all the UFC, you know, predictors and the breakdowns on YouTube agree that Francis Marshall got robbed last time out against Marion Santos. We picked Marion Santos. We had him in parlays. Well, we got away with that one, bro. Because I think he did win that fight, right? Against Marion Santos.
And then he came better, so
And Mario Santos, we've seen how good Mario Santos is.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought in almost a year, right? Prior to that loss to Marion Santos, he beat Dennis Bazooka. He's going up against Silva, who last time out lost to Muhammad Naval. He injured his leg in that fight, right? So you're gonna see the KO, TKO, but he did injure his leg in that fight. Prior to that, he lost to TJ Brown, and then prior to that, he won his Dana White Contender Series via KO up against Anvar Bozayarov. Right? You look at Silva; he's 38 years old. He's a pressure grappler. He throws with power. He doesn't have the best technique when it comes to his striking. He's been gone for 2 years. I think him and Marshall are kind of similar in style, but Marshall's going to be younger. He's going to be faster. He's going to be more fast twitch, right? Sylvia
Yeah.
likes to bring his opponents to the ground and work his way to the back and lock in the submission. He likes to search for those submissions and work once on the ground. Marshall, however, is a Division One collegiate wrestler, right? Similar to Bo Nickel, he leans on his grappling to control fights. His striking is functional, but less. He's still a bit raw in his striking, but he's getting better, right? He trains at American Top Team, where he does have elite training partners, elite grapplers such as Masvar, Grant Dawson,
Yeah.
etc. His cardio holds up across 3 rounds. We've seen that in the past. They are at elevation. I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern. So I'm going to go with Francis Marshall here. I think
Yeah,
he's going to be the
he's
faster, more fast twitch. And coming off of that loss, bro, he should be pissed, right?
yeah. And again, we talk about the 500 club. Put Marshall in the 500 club. There are a couple minus 500s. You put them together, it will parlay into plus 100, plus 200. Not all of them. Pick accordingly because you will be pissed on fight night. But I'm gonna go with Marshall, and like with Eric Silva, I just don't think he's faced the guys he should have faced. And then like 38 years old in this division is a
Mhm.
bit old. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
featherweight, like it's one of these like technical divisions that require good boxing, good conditioning, and I'm gonna give it a Marshall, man.
Right on. We're both going with Marshall. Move on to our last fight here that's kicking off the card. We have Wes Schultz taking on Damian Pinas. Pinas? 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 Pinas or Penis?
Pin, Pina, P, P, Pinas, Pinas,
Pinas. All right, we're taking on
Pinas.
Pinas. They're both making their UFC debut. You know, you look at Wes Schultz, he beat Mario Menage via submission on the Dana White Contender Series, whereas Damian Pinas beat Victor Costa via KO TKO. You essentially here, bro, this fight is easy to break down. You have a wrestler with a judo background who has good control, who doesn't have the best striking, looks to take you down and control you and get busy up against an individual who's a power puncher who sets up his power shots behind his jabs in Pinaz. He's lengthy. His takedown defense has held up pretty nicely thus far outside of the UFC. But however, he can get taken down. He has been taken down. I mean, I watched his fight against, I think it was it Victor Costa? I think it was Joni Gregory. I saw
Contender
his fight
series.
against Joni Gregory. He got the KO TKO in the later rounds, but he was taken down in that fight, right? And I think this all determines on whether you wanna. It was in the first round. Which fight did I see that he got? I think it was Carlos. No, it was John Gregory. It was in the first round. I'm sorry, I said third round. It was in the first round. He was taken down early on, but he did utilize that power and he did put him out. I think this fight hinges on whether you think Pinaz is going to be able to stop Schultz's takedowns attempt, put him out on the feet, right? Or do you think that Schultz is going to be able to take him down and control him? I'm going to go with Schultz, man. I think his pressure,
Yeah.
his wrestling is going to be able to take him down. My only concern is I mean, it depends how you argue it, man. Like you can say that Schultz is not gonna be able to get the takedowns. He's gonna get tired, and then
Yeah.
Pinaz gonna be able to just put him out on the feet. Or Pinaz is gonna get taken down. He's gonna get tired. He's not gonna have the power. They're at elevation, right? All that muscle. It's not gonna work well for him. I'm gonna go with Schultz here, man, because I have seen Pina get taken down, and I see how good Schultz is wrestling and
At
he
the
controls
takedown.
it. Yeah,
I mean, oof, look at the odds. Like, dude, you know what's? I'm gonna go Pinas, but I might not bet in this fight. I don't like him at a minus 250. He's probably at a minus 300 fight night. But
I think for a dog, I think I'm just gonna take
let's see
the
that first fight. Let's see
fire
that
bet.
first round. No, dog money's good on this guy. But let's see that first round. Let's see if he's able to deal with that power, that speed. Um, in the first round should tell us a lot. Again, it could also be one of those things where Pinas knocks him down a couple times, dazes him up, goes to minus 600. And then what happens is, with all that muscle, you get tired. So Schultz capitalizes in the second and third. We'll find that on Fight Night, champ. But I'm going to
Yeah.
win Pinas.
All right, we're on opposing ends for the first fight of the night. I'm going with Wes Schultz. You're going with Damian Pinaz. As always, guys, make sure you follow us on X. We do drop our picks. We do drop our bets at Combat Sport, guys. Make sure you show some love. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. As always, any parting words, my man?
Yeah, we'll see you live on X.
Right on, guys. Love what you love. Do what you do. Peace.